Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of Plant-Based
Bros.
I am one of the brothers, Migues.
I'm Ant here. How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing? That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is so great to be back here with you guys after a couple of busy weeks. You know how life goes, guys, right?
Yeah.
You work hard, you play hard, and sometimes the work outweighs the play. So we've been working, but now we've got some time in the sketch to finally be having some playtime, if you know what I'm saying.
I do know what you're saying. That's right.
Yeah. Before we even get started with anything, ladies and gents, we got a new segment we want to hit you guys with, which is going to be every episode. Ant's going to go ahead and hit us with his quote of the day. So,
Quote of the day.
Let me introduce you to none other than the gentleman himself, who has already introduced himself, but I want to give him another proper introduction. The boy Ant.
Hey.
Hit us, baby.
How you doing? I already said how you doing for my first. That's just like my go-to.
Dude, honestly, it's been the go-to.
It's the number one right now.
It's
Can't lie. How you doing? You just can't.
Yeah. It's the vibe from the couch. It's the how you doing couch.
All right. That's not the quote of the day, but it could be.
Sorry.
You can perceive it if you want to.
Yeah, true.
All right. I'm going to hit you with the quote of the day.
Where is this quote of the day hitting us from?
This is coming from Insight Timer. Not a sponsored ad right here.
Not at all.
But just Insight Timer, it's an app that I like to use. It has a bunch of guided meditations. I'm talking like hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, it's really
just
good.
A bunch. Different topics, different lengths of like how long it goes for, just cool stuff. But each time you click into it, it's going to give you like a quote of the day.
Heck yeah.
And I'm just going to give you all the quote of the day. It's
from the day that we have the pod.
Right.
So let's do
So
it, bro.
coming from the source Plutarch.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm
Go
wrong,
on,
maybe
hey, that's
later.
all right, brother.
It's called, it says proper listening is the foundation of proper living. And I'll say that again. Proper listening is the foundation of proper living.
You like how I was proper listening right there? I was just nice and silent, just listening to you.
Oh, I see. Hey,
that was good, right?
You were taking it right into,
Hey,
putting it right into practice.
hey, listen, man. I honestly think that before we even go into what the pod's gonna be about, I think we were saying before we were gonna do this after, but I kind of like that quote a lot.
Right on.
Touch on that quote a little bit.
Yeah.
That's pretty deep. What do you think about it, brother?
I would say you got to really dig into it. Like, just listening in general is going to take you a long way. So, like, in my perception of maybe just, like, picking the brain from a higher up of someone who maybe has experience in a field of something that, or just something that, they've done before that I'm looking to do myself.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're trying to, ask
some
for advice.
Prior knowledge to something you want to experience.
Right. Like, if you really give yourself the time to listen to what they're saying and not just hear it, but you're like really receiving the information, you're analyzing it in a way that's unique to yourself in the unique situation that you're in, that you're applying to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, listening is just gonna, that gives you a new foundation of knowledge, and just like knowledge, I know we've talked about it before, but like knowledge truly is power, and like knowledge can take you so far. It's like, and a lot of times like that listening advice that you could have is free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like that. I like how you say the knowledge is power, right? And when you kind of apply the whole knowledge is power, I kind of see listening as almost like one of those keys to success.
Right.
In order to gain knowledge, right? Because if you're able to listen and truly understand and digest something, that's when you know that the message was truly received. When you can actually say that you're picking up what I'm putting down. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really does come down to listening, and that's one of the basic foundations of communication. And a lot of those classes I took at FGCU, honestly, super grateful for all those professors that I had, man. Super, super insightful. One of the main things was active listening, right?
Right.
Giving feedback, how you and I do for each other, right, during the pod, right? How anyone does in a conversation, wanting to keep the person intrigued, giving them feedback and stuff like that, right? That's all a part of it. So if you're not listening, you're kind of just like zoned out in another world. Like you said, you might miss some pertinent information that is free.
Dang.
Yeah. But ladies and gents, honestly, leave in the comments below maybe what your perception of the quote of the day is. Maybe we can make that a little habit.
Right, yeah.
Maybe it can inspire
Everyone gives
you.
A little bit of insight.
Yeah, heck yeah, for sure. I like how you said insight because it's from Insight Timer. Very nice. So listen.
Beautiful.
Quote of the day was beautiful. But we want to go ahead and talk to you guys a little bit about Stoicism. I'll read the dictionary definition here for you guys momentarily. But we're going to go ahead and give you guys a little update from the Creatine Chronicles, the name of our last episode if you haven't checked it out. Link is in bio. Also, we're going to go ahead and talk about a little coaching duo that myself and Ant have been becoming. You could say the Ted Lasso beard combination of the century. in the modern day. We'll talk about that a little bit more. And then, of course, how could we not talk about the World Cup?
World Cup.
There you go. I thought you were going to leave me hanging there.
No, I didn't know if you were going to take it as a solo because I was ready to vibe out.
No, I didn't need to take it solo, brother. We're the plant-based bros, so we go together, baby. And that was so clean. And then, of course, after the World Cup talk, we'll do some what's to come. But let's go ahead and just hop into Stoicism, man. Before I read us the dictionary definition, brother, why don't you let the people at home know that are listening, maybe while they're driving, maybe while they're at work, maybe while they're just kind of vibing out and having a great day. I hope you guys are all having a great day while you're listening, by the way. Right. Let them know kind of why we're talking about Stoicism today, my man.
I mean, Stoicism takes you a long way. Realistically, it's kind of a tool.
Before we talk about how it's a tool, why specifically? What happened to us before the pod? Why we're talking about Stoicism?
Right. Okay. So we had an audio issue where we were. I mean, it was maybe at least an hour where we were just trying to figure it out why one of our microphones wasn't working. Right, every single time we were hitting record, we were just because we wanted to hit some test runs.
Yeah, doing some how you doing.
Before we started the pod.
Right.
And just one of the mics wasn't working. We were looking up a bunch of different videos on YouTube, but it's like it's very easy to get frustrated in the process of something not going your way, and that's always gonna happen in life. There's so many uncontrollables, so many things that we're not gonna be able to really have. I guess
accessible to us.
Like accessibility to have any control over it. So like you just have to react. You control how you react.
Yes.
You know.
Yes, and that leads me into reading the definition of Stoicism. And like you said before, it is a fantastic tool. I love how you called it a tool. Yeah. You're a very smart man yourself, brother. But really, let me go ahead and read the definition of Stoicism, which is the endurance of pain or hardship. No pain, no gain, but there was no pain in this situation. A little bit of a hardship though, right? Because we want to make sure that while you guys are listening at home, you guys get the best audio quality from us.
Absolutely.
We realized it was lacking in the last couple episodes, and we said, no, we're going to sit down and properly get this figured out. And we went ahead and we did. Yeah. We were proper listeners to that YouTube videos that we were checking out. And that's what it came down to, right? Like, it wasn't like what we were seeing on the screens. It was something that Ant actually heard. So I like how that kind of applies to the quote that we said at the beginning. Right. But yeah, so Stoicism is the endurance of pain or hardship without the display of feelings and without complaint. Listen, a lot of times before, it's normal. It's human nature for us to just get super frustrated, right? Sorry if that was a little loud for the people at home.
No, I got
you. But
like,
listen, that's life.
Yeah.
Right? What's the point in reacting and getting all flustered and frustrated when at the end of the day, things always end up getting figured out?
Yeah. 9 times out of 10.
What do you think, brother?
It's going to get figured out.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what we don't realize is what also goes hand in hand with Stoicism, I think, is patience. I think it's a great thing that you even mentioned Stoicism, because I actually did a meditation this morning, just kind of scrolled through different topics. It was on Insight Timer, not another plug, but it was a patience. The topic was patience, and just how many things in life we're gonna have in front of us. It's we experience it, but we kind of expect it either to go one way or another, or it's we kind of want it to be, we want the outcome quicker.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's one of the biggest things that we struggle with as a society. Dude. A lot of people are so used to the convenience of, preach.
The right away. No. The right away. Stay on your soapbox, but please continue.
Yeah, no, that right away convenience of thinking that maybe you might even see like, oh, I deserve this right now. Like I deserve this to be immediate. But what if it's a sign from the universe that this is a test of patience? Yes. Like you're gonna get what is coming to you and what you're looking for. However, many times you're gonna have to encounter those hardships.
Yes,
the things of not going right. The things of just not 100%. Going your way. So if you have that patience factor, the stoicism to really drive through what's happening.
To be emotionless.
To be optimistic as well, man.
Yes.
Like, life could really beat you down. I'm not saying it's very easy, but in terms of it starts with the switch inside your head. It starts with the perception you have at the beginning of the day. That like you are the creator of your own day. But once I heard that changed my outlook on how you could start every day. You know what I mean? Because like one bad thing could happen to you. Yes, you could wake up frustrated one morning, but it's like,
my back, I slept wrong.
Right. Yeah. Or you could just be like, oh, I didn't get enough sleep. Oh, I have to go to work now. It's like, you already had to do that.
Right,
you know
that's
what
in the
I mean?
past, right? Start making maybe your day better, right? That's like, that kind of
Switch it
ties
up.
in. I like the saying, you have to change your mentality to change your reality, right?
Yeah.
That's a big part of it, man.
That's
That's a
huge.
huge part of it, is your outlook. I like to think that being positive is an emotion, right? With Stoicism, it talks about being emotionless, right?
Yeah.
Being positive isn't having an emotion. Being positive is a state of mind. But yeah, brother, like I was saying, being positive, it's not an emotion, right? We tie Stoicism, right, to being emotionless, right? So being positive, that's not an emotion. That's a mindset. It's a state of mind. You have to, again, change your mentality to change your reality. If you start seeing the brighter side of things, the glass is half full rather than the glass is half empty.
Yeah.
Things of that nature really captivate the mind to think in a better light, and therefore, like you said, you're on the right foot. You're not thinking about those things that are wearing you down, tearing you down, and staring you down almost, and giving you anxieties.
Yeah. Oh man, and that's a big thing to even kind of segue a little bit into. It's just like so many anxieties could
100%.
rise into your daily activities or just like what you're doing without even realizing. It's kind of like a subconscious thing sometimes.
Oh, 100%.
Where you're just like,
dude,
why am I even
if you
feeling
don't mind
it?
if I interject here while you mention the subconscious there, you know how you were saying with Stoicism, right? How we're very like, we want it right away.
Yeah.
I think subconsciously as a society with social medias and stuff like that, we see, oh, that other person's doing the same thing I'm doing, therefore I should already have the same end result as them. But you can't really apply that thinking, because every single person is in their own journey, right? They're all doing things their own way. So you really, really, really can't apply other people's lives to yourself, but rather with that listening quote in the Stoicism, right, you can learn and be emotionless so that you can actually listen and learn from an experience so that you can get the result that you want, rather than saying, oh, I deserve this result because that person has it. No, we all have to put in that said work. That person got that result because they did that respective work in their own life, you know?
Yeah. That's where the art of comparison could be detrimental to one's process.
Love how you call it the art of comparison.
You know what I mean?
It really is an art, because it's
is.
like almost like a mindset, like a way of thinking in a way. That's so
It's
true.
subjective in a way. It's unique in its own format
Listen,
of
man,
how
I'm
you
being today, man.
how you
Go on,
perceive
you.
it and how you use it for yourself.
Yeah,
you know what I
100%,
mean?
bro.
Because it's not. You could compare someone who's successful and see what they did to get
Yes,
there.
100%,
and then you could
right? And
use
learn
that
from
as
their
motivation.
success.
You use that
Brilliant.
to your benefit. But it's very easy, and I'm saying this from the experience of just what I've seen and done to myself, of like seeing someone else's maybe fitness journey and be like, you compare yourself right away and
that's
you're
a
like, oh my
big
god, my
one.
body doesn't look like that. Maybe I'm lacking, or like, and yeah, that's fine. You could do it in the sense of maybe to gain an extra motivation, but don't do it to beat down on yourself.
Right.
Know that you're in your own journey and you're in your own process. Know that it's going to take time to reach your certain goals, but that's okay
100%.
because if you're not comparing along the way, then that's just going to be so amazing. It's going to be huge.
That's
you know?
so true. And you know, honestly, I love that you mentioned that, because we have on the pod before in our past 4 episodes, again, link in bio to all those previous episodes. But
Right.
like we've talked about, right, with body image issues, right, with not seeing the gains, like, man, that kind of segues perfectly into the creatine chronicles, which I kind of wanted to get into, but still,
Right
with the whole body image and everything like that, I before, like you said, compared my fitness journey to other people, and then I was like, wait a second. It wasn't until you really opened my eyes to it, so I have to give you the credit for it. It wasn't until you made me realize that every single person has a different body type. I mean, it just makes sense, right? Every single person has a different brain, has a different mind, has a different way of thinking, has a different appearance, has a different set of genetics. So why could I think that I'm going to look like Arnold per se, right? Like, I am only able of having the muscle capacity that my body has, right? So I have to do my best in my right mind and every sort of mindset, mentally and physically, to attain the best physique that I can possible for myself. And that's when I started realizing all the gains that I have, all the hard work that I put in, and it started motivating me more and more. And that was when I could see other people's fitness journeys and appreciate it rather than compare myself to it.
Right. Yeah, I think that's beautifully said, bro.
Thank you, brother.
That's a great insight on
I appreciate
how
that, man.
perceive that all.
I appreciate that.
Cool,
brother.
man.
Let me just pull up our notes here real quick, because, you know, ladies and gents, we're nice and organized here on the Plant-Based Bros. We like to keep things flowing on the topic. But really, like we mentioned, being on the creatine chronicles, and I've been doing a pretty good job staying consistent on the creatine. Like, miss a day or two here.
Yeah,
and there,
I could
we're
definitely
human.
attest to that as well. I was like I think I was consistent on it for the first 2 weeks.
Same here. I didn't miss a single day. Shout out to the wife, because the wife was packing me the creatine and the protein in a little bag, and throwing it in a little shaker cup for me, so I could just take it to work and just make it up, you know. But it's been sweet, man. I've been loving how I'm feeling on the creatine, and again, like we mentioned on the last episode, ladies and gentlemen, we said that we were going to continue running, and we've been really holding ourselves to it. We've been running a good amount, a little less this week, but we played some b-ball. Had a good time playing some b-ball this week. Got some good cardio in. Got some good workouts in this week, you know, during our little Thanksgiving break. To those who celebrate Thanksgiving, shout out. Hope you all had a good Thanksgiving and things of that nature, right? But yeah, man, the creatine chronicles are where it's at. Like we were talking before, you know, you're really kind of impressed with what I've been able to do, and I really appreciate your guidance throughout this whole process and getting us back on the creatine and doing the proper research into like the best creatine for us, because this has been like the lightest one on my stomach, to be quite honest. But to make a long story short, I'm sitting at 160, ladies and gents, and I'm feeling lean, and I'm feeling mean. You know what I'm saying?
Grr.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. But how have you been feeling on creatine? Because I've done this before. This is my second go about being on creatine. Last winter I did this. But how have you been feeling? I would love to get your insight on how you've been feeling on creatine, man. Give me your insight.
Yeah, I've been feeling good, honestly. It's it definitely, my body took, I think in the first 3 days, I had a couple of like adjustments, as in like using the restroom just a little bit more.
Tummy kind of a little rumbling, like my stomach.
Right, yeah. Just kind of like adjusting to it a little bit.
For sure.
But also, yeah, I did a little bit more research as to like its benefits in performance, because I remember I just kind of like in the last episode mentioned it was to improve performance, but it's mainly for, you know, like short burst of power movements. So like, you know, us in the gym, like, you know, resistance training, you know, 100%. Just kind of training for more strength and like aesthetic that we do. And like, you know, obviously we track our progress and stuff like that. That's a huge thing. I think
for sure
that creatine has helped, because I think, because I've been tracking my progress, and I realized that with taking creatine, I was able to get that extra push in the gym, kind of get some heavier weight than like before. Because I even noticed it with you too, like on our we did a chest press the other day, and you were able to just,
I think I got up to, what did I hit? Did I hit 60 on chest press the other day?
Yeah. And it was on some inclines and some, it was
on incline chest press I had 60.
It's all about some good range, man.
Yeah, I did. And you know what, dude, I'm so glad you said that, bro. I don't mean to interject again, but man, range of motion, and man, Ant's knowledge, and ladies and gents, I'll be 100% transparent with you. I've enrolled in a certain course that's going to help me get some more insight and become a certified personal trainer here at some point. So we'll give some updates along that journey and what I learned, because Ant really inspired me with the insight that he has and my passion and love for the gym that I have and for coaching, and just kind of like, I don't know, helping people understand that they can get the best out of themselves by doing certain things just an hour a day, you know?
Right.
And I am in love with that whole science behind it, you know? So I'm really excited to learn more about it. But again, that range of motion that Ant put me onto has really changed my level of what I've been able to, you know, get as in terms of gains at the gym. You know, I slur my words because I just get so freaking excited just, you know, thinking about all that we've learned so far. I used to work out a lot by myself back in the day when I was in college and stuff like that. Ant was in high school. He was playing high school sports and stuff. So I would spend a lot of time by myself working out, and I, you know, learned a lot of things by myself, a lot of videos, a lot of YouTube here and there. But now having someone like Ant who has gone through all these courses, these classes, and has gained the insight and the knowledge that he's gained, man, it just makes life so sweet. And it's just so awesome. And it makes, I think it's what really was the trailblazing thing for the whole plant-based bros thing to really come full circle, because we started being vegan before you even went head first into these courses, and now just like the culmination of everything, brother. It's just such a beautiful journey that I'm like so happy that we're on, man. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd have to say that's like I'd agree with just learning so much in the program of exercise science at school so far. Like it's crazy, because I remember being in, you know, because there's just different stages to it. You know, you got to get through the prereqs, which could be tough. You know, you take like anatomy 1 and 2. You're taking chemistry 1 and 2. You're taking all these classes that you really don't want to take, but it's like, you know, you got to get through them. And it is what it is. But I really started enjoying my major when I did get to those classes in my junior year. You know, the classes that really focused on, excuse me, that really focused more on just learning about the science
Right.
of what exercise is, and like
The exercise science, huh?
yeah. But like I think one of the coolest things I changed was just like I was in lecture, and I remember just completely having my thought of how exercise was as like a kid, and just up until that point of being like in that chair, and I was just like, I just thought of it all differently, and I saw it differently in a sense because of what's been introduced in the realm of like how our body's being able to do that. You don't really
100%.
think when you're coming up and like you're a kid and you're just exercising, you don't really think about how your body is doing all these things for you.
You're
you
like
don't think
subconsciously
about
just going. You don't think about how really your body truly is like a vessel in a way.
right. You don't think about the strength and the growth that you take to like say if like and in baseball too, like you really have to build up an endurance factor in terms of well not much endurance because baseball is a lot of like short bursts.
Yeah, 100%.
But like
No, but you like
the
you put your
endurance
body through a lot. As
a lot
kid,
of sports,
You don't
right.
really understand like that with proper recovery, rest, and like some coaches, they'll put you through like proper stretching things. And I apologize, ladies and gents. I'm just getting comfy on the how you doing coach out here. Here in the stew, but it's kind of like a mindless thing almost, right? And then when you start applying like actual knowledge to these certain things, it's like it's really like mind blowing. It's like almost like a whole new world, really.
Right, yeah. No, absolutely. Just like how you said right there. That's a perfect way to put it.
On the money.
On the money.
Almost like the words right out of your mouth, bro.
Yeah, it's just like, it's a passion that I've always had. It's funny too, because like I've always had this mentality of like, I need to work out to feel good almost in a way. And like, I'm not saying like, if you don't work out, you're not going to feel good in life. It's just like, like me personally, I knew from a young age that like connecting just movement with my body and just like making sure I got at least some physical activity every single week. It's just like that's just stemmed and transitioned into like, because as you become an adult and you're making more choices of like what you're going to do on the daily, it's
100%.
it's very easy to stay away from exercise and
100%.
not really choose to go to the gym or choose to
have active rest of some sort, of even just go on a run.
Right, yeah, but you just do a little bit of movement. That's what I would say, just at least every week, because there's proven benefits of exercising. You get there's better sleep.
Yeah, like you mentioned before.
It helps with feelings of depression, anxiety, stuff like that. 100%. You get your chances of getting so many diseases get decreased. You know what I mean? They're lowered because it's the science of the body. We're designed to move, so we could exercise. Truly is just medicine, so we could live longer, you know what I mean?
100%. And of course, the disclaimer that we always give is, of course, this is just personal research that we've done ourselves. Of
Absolutely.
course, if you want to delve into more things and be able to truly apply things to yourself at home, like we say, doing that active listening, take this little moment right here and take this advice that we're giving you right now and do some research, right? And see what applies best for you so that you can get the best benefits out of everything, so that you can really see what things can decrease. Because again, like we said,
right, of course,
this is advice that we're giving you guys. We're not better than you guys. We're just on the same level of playing field, right? We're people that we do our work. We roll up our sleeves. We go to work every day. We do what we love to do, and we find love and passion in fitness and in the whole fitness world. And hopefully as we get more delved and involved in the fitness industry, we're able to really make something of this. We have a lot of goals in sight. We'll talk more in the future of our manifestations and the things that we really want the plant-based bros to really accentrify, really, as just a brand and as everything, and as a mindset and as a mentality. But it really just boils down to just putting in that time and effort and just doing what we have to do.
I agree.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Right 100%.
On. Yeah, man. Really really excited about just the journey that we've been on, man. Diving into like different things and really going into like the creatine chronicles in a way, like that new mindset, right? Like there's no one holding us accountable to doing this, like saying, hey, go ahead and do this, right? But it's like almost like a task we've taken upon ourselves, right? Because we know like the benefits and we've learned certain things. So if you find something at home, ladies and gents, that's really beneficial for you, don't be afraid to incorporate it, right? Take that risk, take that leap of faith, because in the long term, it's really going to help you out. I mean, you hear what Ant's been saying in his experiences, his first time taking it, right? My experiences with taking it again the second time around. So yeah, really do some research at home and really find something that works for you, so that you're challenging yourself to be a better version of you every day.
I think that that's a great even segue to just end it off on. I think we should always try to one up ourselves, almost in a way of like just becoming a better version of ourselves. And it's not even like comparing yourself of the past or your your old self or old mentality, but see it as a stepping stone. You know, it's a different perception that you used to have, or
100%.
that, you know, I think it shows growth when you can kind of see and compare, like the mindset that you used to have to something else, and
so
then,
that
like,
you can see the growth that you've had.
Yeah, or you're like your thinking is completely different. If it comes up again, it's just like, oh, cool.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. You know, kind of segueing into our next little topic here about, like, you know, us becoming this coaching duo. Us becoming this coaching duo has really boiled down to, again, challenging myself, right? I, for a while, was an assistant soccer coach, and now I've had the opportunity to be the head JV coach of a high school team. I won't say what high school because I don't want y'all doing research or anything like that, but anything like that. People that know at home and follow along, I appreciate your guys' support along the way, and I appreciate the man, you know, to my side over here being a great assistant coach and hooking it up with some great advice for Dubbo number 2 of the season. But yeah, you know, it's been a very fun challenge going from an assistant coach, kind of being someone that kind of helps direct the traffic, lead kind of different ways, right? As kind of like almost like a VP in a way, right? As a vice president, making sure that whatever the president says goes in a way, right? So now kind of being the main gaffer, as they say, is the guy that's kind of in charge of what his team does in terms of practice, in terms of, you know, their game style, their formation, and things like that. Man, am I having a grand old time. I can't lie, ladies and gents. It has been fun. The experience of my life. We talk about passion a lot on this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, because Ant and I are very passionate people. We're very thankful and grateful for all the things that we've been able to do as brothers, because, you know, you hear a lot of stories about siblings not talking and stuff, right? And I have a passion for fitness, in my opinion, because of how active we were as kids. We used to be in the neighborhood shooting hoops with kids that used to live near us and stuff like that. Every single summer we were in New Jersey visiting our pop. We were always outside doing something, dude. So, you know, we've always been active kids, you know, and one of my active passions as a kid has always been football, right? It's always been football, soccer, as y'all Americanos, or as my Americans here in the States call it, right? But footy is just one of my biggest passions, you know, and I love it so much, man. So being able to take it from the tactical side and being a coach, and not only being able to be a coach, but having you experiencing it with me side by side. Man, what a journey it is.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree. It's like, I would say definitely after that last win, where it's like it kind of hit differently, where like a little switch of like my mindset of even just like the whole game, like happened, because it's true, like you have, I guess, like when you were a player, you have now you're all the experience of when you used to play and stuff like that. So now I don't know, you can kind of give that insight to someone who doesn't have it just yet. And even just in a manner, knowing in a way that people kind of work best in hearing it too, and that's active listening right there. Not everyone is gonna react the same to how you coach them. So being 100%. Able to, you know, be personable and, you know,
and be able to listen to each player, right? Because each person has a different personality, right? So each person listens differently, like you said, right? So being again that listener, right? What was it that the quote said? It was the active listener. What was that? What was it? Pull the quote once more. It's been a while since the ladies and gents at home heard the quote, so pull it up one more time.
Proper listening is the foundation of proper living.
Yeah, that's so true. And you're living if you're having fun and if you're getting the best out of people.
Excuse me.
Right? No, you're excused, brother. But yeah, no, you get the best out of people by again, by proper living, right? By not being hard on people, by being like portraying like anger or anything on them, like no, that doesn't work in my opinion, you know? Like when you gotta kick them in the butt and give them, when you kind of gotta, you know, give them that little kick in the rear end to kind of kick them into gear, to kind of get them, you know, fighting for the cause. That's one thing, right? But you never really want to put them down, right? You want to do that proper listening to see what kind of each person is seeing in the game, what maybe mistakes they might be making, what they're doing good, so that you can tell them the things they're doing good and just say, hey, you might be making these couple mistakes. And so that when they hear those couple mistakes, right, you're not like making them feel bad about it, but rather they're actually doing that proper listening so that they can go ahead and do some proper living on the pitch and apply it to their game and get some W's, man. And we're 2-0 as a coach and doing it's been pretty sweet.
Right. It's like I kind of learned it's really for the betterment of the player. Like if you could detach as a coach of 100%. Like not everything needing to be controlled in your manner of how you want it to go, 100%. Or like how every player should react to something, you know what I mean? Like, yes, you should set a standard and something that the team should follow. But you have to also know that it's gonna be a little bit different. You have to learn to know who's in your team.
Yes.
And that's a big thing in like kind of sports psychology that I've been learning about, because like it's just been like you dive deep into different different chapters. Right. Yeah, and it's just like it comes down to knowing, being able to personally create a plan of making that player feel comfortable.
Yes,
100%. Making them know that you're working with others. So yes, there's going to be common grounds that you got to meet at. 100%. So that's another big thing.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's just you gotta, I don't know, just
you just gotta be in the, you gotta be in the moment, and you gotta be understanding.
Yeah,
absolutely. You gotta be able to really read not only the game, right? You gotta read also the players and how they're reacting to certain things and how things are going, the game tempo, how the referees are calling the game. There's so many moving parts, and man, it is probably the best game of live chess in the world.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I remember what I wanted to finish on that thought. It was what I was saying, like on the detaching part. Like it's like it's really not, once you kind of detach as a coach, it's you're not seeing it as like a benefit to you in the sense of like, oh, I'm showing off that I could coach these players and like win games. It's to show that like we're here for you to have the betterment toward your own goals and your own journey of
to your career,
being an athlete or whatever you're pursuing. So
yeah, honestly, because that's so true. Because not only, let's say, like, not every single high school kid you coach is going to go ahead and, like, basically make it to the next level. But if you instill them with, good mentalities, good mindsets, that translates into any job they go to, into any endurance that they have to go through, whether that be school, whether that be a technical school grind or anything like that, right? Some of those things, like the mentality to persevere, are things that you can instill in young minds, and that can really help them not only on the pitch, but also off the pitch as well.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the brilliant sides of coaching. And I love how you say instilling that for them to better them, because as coaches, right, we've already done that, right? We do this to pay the dues back to the coaches that were willing to take the time to help us out, right? So now as coaches ourselves, right, we're making sure that the girls that we coach are getting the best out of us,
Yeah, no, and I mean, it makes more sense now, because I used to hear a coach even say, like, really emphasize, like, this isn't for me, this is for you, and like I'm just 100%. Here.
Yeah, the best coaches make as
that a guiding tool, like you guys have to do what you need to do to get better, and if you do want to get better, then that's where we're gonna help.
100%. Now, speaking on good coaching, let's go ahead and transition into the good old World Cup 2022.
That's right.
In Qatar. Winter World Cup, super weird. Obviously, it's in the winter because in Qatar, it do be getting hot outside. So they had to do it in the winter. A little pause on Man U, little pause on Real Madrid. But some Madrid Mad Lads played for Spain today. Got a good result in a very fun game. Before we even go into our overall thoughts on the entire World Cup, this might date the episode a little bit right here, but what were your thoughts on the Germany-Spain game, which was the most recent game we watched?
Most recent game we watched. It was good. It was honestly, it was a dogfight.
It was?
First half, either way could have been 1-1.
Yes, I agree.
Germany had the offside. Spain was just pressuring.
Yeah, missed the one right over the bar.
Did they not hit the crossbar, if I'm not mistaken?
Ooh, you could have seen that. I might have missed that. That's true, because I kind of was doing a little bit of driving.
I've just been watching a lot of soccer.
A
lot of football.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great.
It's been great.
Honestly, it's not until the World Cup really starts that you're like, oh, dude, this is the World Cup, dog. Like, this is such a vibe.
Yeah.
Like, when I think of World Cup, I think of finding any screen possible and watching the game. We were at an away game during break, and we found this random coach's office and this away place that we were at. Coach was like, oh, dude, come watch the game here. So here we are watching U.S.-Wales. U.S. up 1-0, doing a great job in their game, holding down the fort, got that first goal via Timmy Weah. And, man, what a gutting penalty to give away. But really, on the heels of that, though, that performance against England was pretty class from the U.S., I can't lie.
I'm going to say I'm impressed with the USA. They're playing good so far in this World Cup. You know what I'm saying? There's been a lot of talks about them not showing up. It's like, it's the World Cup. There's too much pressure.
Right.
But in terms of the recent competitions they've been playing in, they've been doing good as well. So, I mean, I'm impressed to see it transition into the World Cup. There's been, I think one of my favorite things has just been, like, the sleeper teams winning.
Yeah.
Like the upsets. I think
Saudi Arabia.
we all love to see the upset in sports, right? It's so cool. So I mean, yeah, it all started off with the first game of the World Cup. Wait, no, not the first game.
But like almost, I think it was the second game of the World Cup. Let's pull it up real quick. I think
it was the first game for
Argentina,
first game for
yes, it was during the first round of the World Cup, of course, because now we are just now kicking off the second round of matches, right? Or is it? No, I'm so sorry. We're closing out the second round of matches, going into the third round, the third and final matches of the group stages, right? Because if with the whole funny thing with Germany and Costa Rica, Germany and Costa Rica's, they are in that same group, right? Germany, Spain, Costa Rica, Japan. With that group, if Germany would have gotten a win, that would have put that group at all threes, which would have been really interesting. But now it really does come down to a dogfight at the end of the day here in good old which group is this? Group what is this group?
Pull up those groups, brother.
Group E. Group E, as in it's electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie. Hey. Yes, sir. But yeah, the World Cup has been phenomenal, like you were mentioning with like Saudi Arabia. I think when Saudi Arabia won, that might have been on Tuesday. Yes, indeed, they won. They're in Group C with Mexico, Poland, and Argentina. Of course, unfortunate for Mexico, but maybe you never know what happens. They might have a chance.
They just might sneak through. You never know.
Real quick, I want to get your thoughts on France. France's two results, 4-1 with Australia. Aussie up the Aussies up the Socceroos.
Australia won their game.
And then, yes, they did, but also France got a 2-1 result against Denmark. Mbappe, goal scorer in both of the games, if I'm not mistaken. Yes.
He scored in both games.
He has scored in both games, correct. So, what's your thoughts on France so far? Obviously, they were an early favorite going into the World Cup. I mean, we talked about it off camera a little bit ourselves as some fans of France because of course, Karim the Dream, Tuchemeni, and Camavinga. But yeah, what have your thoughts been on France so far? I would love to get your insight.
I mean, it kind of starts off just like how you were saying with those injuries. It's like, dang, you really want to see these players.
You're so right, dude. And really want to see Nkunku, man. I really wanted to see Nkunku.
Right, Nkunku, Benzema.
We will see him again. He's a young lad.
But
Ben's too. You never know. Yeah, a little gutting, but yeah,
it is gutting. Yeah. But it's also good to. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I was gonna say that like the love-hate relationship for Mbappe, but it's you have to give it to him that it's impressive that he has 7 goals. Yeah. Already in the World Cup. He's tied with Messi, I think, in World Cup goals.
Like an overall competitions. Yes. And
he's only like 23.
Yeah, that's a brilliant stat. Yeah, it's a brilliant stat, and he also has already a World Cup to his name.
You have to give it to him. And with these, like I was saying, with these injuries, you was kind of thinking, it's like,
who's going to step up?
Who's going to step up? Yeah. I predicted that Olivier Giroud is going to have a pretty good World Cup. I think he's going to. And he banged in to go for the first game. He did. But for Mbappe to step up and score those two, because I mean. It's one thing to talk, but like to score goals in this World Cup, you gotta do it. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's impressive. You gotta give him his respect.
That's true. Yeah. I have a very love-hate relationship with Mbappe. I'll be 100% honest. You guys obviously know I'm a diehard Real Madrid fan, and he turned down Real Madrid for the money. His president calling him on the phone and saying "Oui, stay in France," whatever he said. I'm still pretty salty about it. I'm not salty. I'm stoic about it. I'm emotionless, right? At first, I wasn't too stoic. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the kid. I've been following him since they were calling him Mbappe Lotin at AS Monaco. Playing with Falcao, winning the league, shocking PSG. Been following him for a long time, and I really thought he was destined to play for Real Madrid. And you never know. Destiny might still be in the future realm for Kylian. You never know. And, I'm stoic, so I'll leave the door open for him. Who knows? But at the end of the day, you got to give him his credit, and that goes into another conversation and giving people credit. Like you say, GOATs are going to GOAT. And I've always been on the side of CR7 for the CR7 versus Messi debate. I will always stay on that side. Cristiano Ronaldo is my boy. That's my guy. He's one of the reasons why I fell in love with the game, why my knowledge for the game went to a new level, because I learned about European footy, and I learned about so much more than just the World Cup and American, league soccer, right? The Major League Soccer league back home in Jersey. But yeah, I'm always on the side of CR7. But man, you cannot be a fan of football and not give Messi his credit for that goal that he scored. It was against Poland, no?
The goal it was against Mexico.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I had just read Poland on follow-up. No, you're right. It was, poor Mexico. Yes, that goal that he scored against Mexico was unbelievable. Like, I was like, man,
Yeah,
That's insane. And you said it best.
Right,
Goat's gonna go, bro. Goat's are gonna go, dude. He's one
Mexico
of the greatest
gave him
all time.
too much space.
You can't deny it.
And he ripped it, dude.
Dude, he cranked it.
And I was talking to Yahoo about it, that
Yahoo.
Yeah, yes sir. It's harder for a goalie to save a low-driven shot with
Dude,
pace.
It was in the side netting.
Dude, it is hard to get
as a former goalkeeper yourself, yeah.
I learned a lot that, because our bodies are gonna. It's crazy to think that it might be a little bit easier to spring yourself in the air, and because the thing is, a lot of the times, just with the physics of the ball, the way it's going to be kicked, it's most of the time going to go into the air. So your body's, as a goalie, you're expecting to spring and react to the ball in the air.
Right.
But when it's, dude, put down with pace, and him being just outside the box, dude, like, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's
nuts. It was beautiful finish. I was shocked.
It was,
and then even
Enzo, dude, and then
Enzo
I was just about to get into that. Sorry if I got a little loud from people at home, because I was just, man, that goal, if you saw it in live time, ladies and gents, you know why I was that excited, because, man, that was a class finish from a Che. Enzo Fernandez right there, dude. That was pretty sweet. And go on the Argentinians, man. Up the Argentinian mad lads, man. Dude, honestly, when you come down to GOATs, we might have talked about this on the pod, maybe not. Maybe we'll do a little episode on it in a little bit more detail, but we're big Kobe guys. And, after doing the Kobe-LeBron argument for so long, the CR7 Messi argument for so long, after Kobe's passing, I was just like, no, we're going to appreciate people when they're here. So I've just been appreciating Messi's greatness, Ronaldo's greatness. Anyone who's great, I just appreciate their greatness for what it is. And, dude, I'll tell you right now, having that outlook on any sport that you watch just makes the sport you're watching that much more enjoyable. So remove your emotions from it, because they're people at the end of the day. They're human beings. Yeah. And just appreciate their greatness while they're here, because at some point they will no longer be here for us to, root for. Yeah. I learned that lesson very quickly when Ronaldo left Madrid, because he was like my guy. My guy.
That was revolutionary. That's shot.
100%, dude. And things happen. I was super upset when Mbappe turned down Madrid, but again, dude, like, it is what it is. They're people at the end of the day. They got to do what they got to do to provide and feed their families. So it's like, why hate? Just appreciate while they're good, while they're great, and just sit back and enjoy it as a fan, because that's what it is at the end of the day. Be a fan. Enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy it.
And that's what we've been doing this World Cup, honestly.
Absolutely, bro.
Going from one goat to the other, obviously Argentina. Shout out to Speed. I was saying, are you serious right now? We were saying it like that boy Speed. But yeah, Argentina with a good result. Poland did a nice little result with Lewandowski getting his first World Cup goal. That was really cool to see.
Brazil did their thing in that first game.
Oh my god, I'm in love
goal
with
of this tournament so far.
Yes, shout out Richarlison.
My
that
goodness.
Was, dude, the pigeon mad.
The pass.
The first off, yes, the Trivela pass from one of my favorite players in the world right now. And he's gonna go down as one of my favorites ever. Vinicius Jr. What a mad lad, bro. What a mad lad. What an absolute beauty of an outside the foot pass to the touch, the setup, the crank. I don't even know what you want to call it. Side volley. Just the what's the word? The acrobatic finish, man. Brilliant. It's just so brilliant, so class. It's magisterial, as that boy Ray Hudson would say, man. And it was just, dude, this World Cup has been full of just beautiful goals, and honestly, that Messi goal was one of them. But really, Netherlands won one with Ecuador. Ecuador's been a good little surprise of the tournament. They play super well. I'm very impressed with Ecuador. I think Ecuador plays super well. Again, that England-US game was just very rarely in life do you watch a 0-0 game and go, man, that was such an awesome game to watch.
Yeah.
That was one of the few times in life that I've said
that was a good game. They were going back and forth. It was brilliant. And you would think on paper England's gonna wipe them clean. Maybe 100%. England went to the Euros. England's got
the runner-up at the Euros and everything. That's so true.
They're most of them are in the Premier League. Most of them are in better leagues.
What's actually really interesting, and I apologize to interject while you're saying a very good point. Wayne Rooney said, as an English culture, they're very quick to not give credit to the opposition. So I thought that was a very interesting take from
England's not quick to give their credit.
Yeah, the English culture, like the English football fan culture, is very quick to not give the opposition credit. They're very quick to call out their players, like, oh, how could you not beat the U.S.? How could you not do this? How could you not do that?
Okay.
But at the same time, Wayne Rooney was like, good old Wayne was like, I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes you gotta give credit to the opposition because they put up a good game plan. And again, we were talking about good coaching, and the Saudi coach put up a great plan when they played Argentina, and they got that result against them. Obviously, like we mentioned, Argentina bounced back. But again, Greg Berhalter, I have to give him his credit. I was very skeptical of a couple of choices he made with the roster, and leaving out Zach Steffen, but what he laid out against England was impressive, and I got to give the players that went out and they did their thing on the pitch their credit. And even England, man, they put up such a great fight. They played such a great game as well. It was very entertaining from top to bottom. Just such a great match of footy. Great match of footy. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the kit that I'm wearing right now. Obviously, Spain got off to a super hot start. Super hot start against Pura Vida, Costa Rica. You know what I'm saying? With that 7-0 victory. Unbelievable, mate. Unbelievable. Their youth. I mean, their goal scoring. I think they were mentioning today during the Germany game how like that was more goals than they scored at the last competition in Russia. I think it was like more than they scored maybe even in the World Cup in 2014. It's a crazy stat. I just love statistics and how like you know, that's a big part of the game too. But it's crazy to see how well they play, and then of course then bringing the fight to Germany. Either side really could have walked away with the 3 points tonight, but I think the 1-1 was a fair result.
It was. Yeah. It was just back and forth. Yeah. Realistically, one of my favorite games to watch so far. 100%. What was the was it a Portugal game that
I did want to go ahead and hop into Portugal before we close out World Cup talk by talking about Belgium. We watched the Portugal game against where Ronaldo had the penalty. The Portugal game against Ghana. Yes, the Portugal game against Ghana.
That was a sleeper game. That was really good,
a phenomenal game, man. Rafael Leao coming in the 80th minute with his first touch in a World Cup being a goal was sensational. Like his positioning, everything was so sick. Joao Felix's goal was beautiful. Ronaldo's pen was insane. Ghana's 2 goals were class, and Ghana almost literally walked away with the point because Inaki remembered the meme of Ronaldo with like
God.
Yes, dude, when he came from behind and he almost took it because the goalkeeper took the
I forgot about that, bro.
Dude. That was insane. That was probably one of the games of the tournament, hands down. And also, just real quick before we talk a little bit more about Portugal and CR7 and his possible last World Cup, Brazil, real quick, going back to Brazil. Serbia is a very formidable opponent. They have very good teams that play in European top clubs. So seeing them take the fight and play that well, obviously they walked away with some players that are banged up, so it'll be interesting to see how their depth really gets tested in these next couple games. But Serbia's a good team, and them winning 2-0.
Did you say Serbia's got players banged up?
No, Brazil, because remember Neymar injured his ankle, right? And I just read that Antony picked up an injury as well, so he's not going to be available for the next game. Yes. So it's going to be interesting to see the depth, because Brazil has the depth, let's be real, ladies and gents. Right, Brazil has the depth, but it's going to be very interesting to see what they're going to be able to do with that said depth and how they're going to be able to really grind out their next couple of results before we get out to the knockout stages. But real quick, obviously, we got to talk about CR7. We got to talk about that boy, Cristiano Ronaldo, because honestly, man, I just love watching Portugal play. I believe they play their last game of the second matches tomorrow, correct? Let me go ahead and just check the little schedule here. Shout out FOTMob, honestly, man. This isn't a sponsor or anything like that, but they're just such a class app. You can't not give them a shout out. So yes, tomorrow we have Portugal, Uruguay. That's going to be a very good game. Shout out Fede Valverde, one of my favorite players in the world right now. Absolutely doing the bits for Uruguay. South Korea, Heung-min Song against Ghana. It's going to be a very entertaining game. Brazil versus Switzerland, that flag being a huge plus. That's going to be a great game to watch. Cameroon, Serbia, another great game there. But really, CR7 in his last World Cup, man. Your face when I said that the flag is a huge plus is so funny.
I actually didn't even realize it.
Oh, you didn't even know?
I was listening to your flow state.
But yeah, man, it was nice seeing Ronaldo get that goal, dude, in the and it was so funny seeing the Ghanaian guy when he scored the second goal hit the sea.
And then Ronaldo's just like, he's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, dude, that was hilarious. But man, seeing Messi get that second goal, because I think that was his second goal.
That was his second goal. He scored in the first
of this World Cup. Yeah, so seeing him get that second goal, I would love to see how Ronaldo responds in this next game for them against Uruguay.
Was that not his
That was
first
his second
goal?
No, that was the second goal of the Cup.
Saudi Arabia, though.
He was the one goal against Saudi Arabia.
What was the result?
2-1.
Oh, I thought it was 2-0.
No, brother. It was 2-1.
Oh, my fault.
No,
okay, that's what I did. I did hear. I did hear that.
Yeah. It was 2-1.
I could have sworn I heard that he scored a penalty, right?
Correct. I believe so. Correct. Also, shout out to the keepers of the World Cup making some saves. I think Szczesny saved the penalty for Poland.
Schmeichel's been off a beat.
Schmeichel has also been off a beat. I love watching him play, man. He's so good. He's just like his pop, man. He's such a great player. But like we were saying, of course, CR7 in his last World Cup.
Messi.
Going to be nice to see him. Obviously, Messi did the bits, so that's going to be sweet. It'll be interesting to see how France continues. They've obviously qualified for the next round. Heartbreaking for Canada to be out already so early because they're such a fun team seeing in their World Cup. Shout out to Alphonso Davies getting that first goal in their World Cup history.
Buchanan is good, bro.
Yeah, Buchanan is a very good player. Buchanan is a very good player. You're good, bro. You're learning names too. Buchanan is a very sick player. Osorio's a very good player. Jonathan David, obviously, is super class.
But I don't think they had David.
He did. He played in the first half. Yeah, he got something.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah, no, for sure. They brought in this guy that's like this really built dude that actually plays in like Liga MX. It's like Argentinian Canadian, which was actually really interesting. Oh, cool. They're number 9. He was actually pretty solid, honestly. That's what's up. But yeah, it was really a great game. But the World Cup has been so entertaining, man. I've loved it so much. Before we close out the World Cup talk, ladies and gentlemen, and really close out the episode and give like a heads up on what's coming up next. Belgium, has to go down as the most overrated golden generation of a country's team like ever, dude. What an underwhelming, underachieving teammate.
Well, I mean, they still do have a win. And they're, like, they have 3 points. I would say, like, Germany's more in that book.
No. Dude,
well, no,
Belgium's
Germany
golden generation was supposed... Dude, they were ranked number 1 at one point.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. In terms of, like,
in
Belgium
terms of
being on top...
they haven't done nothing, dude. They're, like, on the brink of not even making
it
out of the
in the
group.
top 10 of FIFA World Cup rankings?
They might even be. Should I pull it up?
Oh.
I'll pull it up.
Yeah, no, Belgium, though, it's...
They're always in, like, the top 5.
Morocco was crazy. That was a big upset. I was not expecting that. Belgium, you even thought, when you looked at that group...
They've always just been such a great... And we were talking about this earlier with Yahoo. They've always been such a... So... Oh, hold on. Men's ranking FIFA. All right, let's take a look.
I think Croatia had a great game today as well. I don't think we mentioned them.
Bro, dude, Belgium's number 2 in the world.
Number what?
Number 2. I just pulled it up. What? The latest update of this was October 6th, 2022. So before... A little bit like a month before.
Italy being 6 is...
And they're not even in the World Cup, which is insane. Dude, Belgium, if we pull up Belgium's results, brother. They lost 2-0 to Morocco today. That's underperforming.
It is.
That's underperforming, even if you have 1 win. That's still underperforming. You're still 3rd in your group. The other person underneath you is already eliminated. You're relying on other people to get results when you should be taking destiny into your old hands. When you're the golden generation of your country, man, you underperform. Like, I don't mean to be a pessimist or anything like that. And, we're positive people. But as fans, just giving our own opinion, right? Because that's always fun to do as a fan that just watches, right? And giving their own opinion, right? Because we're human. We like having our opinions. We love debates. But, dude, realistically, I'm just blown away with how underwhelming Belgium has always been.
Yeah, man. I mean, it just comes down to the team that's going to perform best on that day.
100%.
It's like,
dude,
screw all the antics, screw all that. Exactly, passion.
It comes down to passion, dude.
Passion
and that's what I love about the World Cup, dude.
Not
the
being
passionate
selfish.
teams, dude. Yes, 100%. The passionate teams are the ones that prevail. Passion is such a big thing.
Just like Iceland in the
Euros, dude. Oh my God, the pure passion.
Pure passion, dude.
The pure passion, brother. That's so true. Yeah. But ladies and gents, this has been a phenomenal episode.
It has.
This has been a really fun episode, getting back to it. Listen, we're holding ourselves accountable right now. You heard it here first. Weekly episodes are going to be happening. We finally got the mic setup figured out. We got the right angle. We got the hide down couch.
Clips coming
nice
up,
and comfortable. Nice and vibey.
That's right.
Great combo. Great episodes. We're going to start getting some great guests on here. We're plotting and scheming on getting some really dope guests on here to maybe talk about their fitness journeys, what they like to do in their routines. We got a little vlog. He's coming soon. I myself, if you guys know me, I'm a big connoisseur of tofu, of sofritas at the Chipotles. You know what I'm saying? But I figured out this really dope recipe that I kind of made myself, crafted with some sauces and not sauces, but some seasonings that I like using in my everyday sauces. It's not some everyday seasonings that I like using, like when I make like vegan burgers and stuff like that. Went ahead and made like my own version of sofritas, and we're gonna make a little vlog of like going and picking up the stuff and making it from scratch. Nice little meal, a little at home your own Chipotle bowl. We're gonna make a little vlog of that. And it's gonna be sweet.
Yeah,
we'll make that
cool.
here
like
at the Cribbo. Yeah, man, it's going to be so much fun, man. I'm just so excited for all the different content that we're going to keep creating. We really appreciate you guys at home listening, supporting, giving a subscribe because, it's free, giving us a thumbs up, referring us to your friends. Listen, we want to give you guys some love, show you guys some love. Give a little screenshot of you listening, maybe on YouTube, on whatever platform you listen to your podcast on. Give us a little at plantbasedbros, and we'll repost you giving us a listen, and we'll let you build a little following. No, we don't have the most followers in the world, but if you want to get some eyes on maybe like a business that you have, or just on your own personal page,
hit us up.
A little shameless plug here and there. Live your life, my dudes. Do your thing, right? So go ahead and give us a little at. Obviously, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least give you our ad. Our ad is at plant_based_bros, right? If you want to give us a follow on our personal accounts, you can give me a follow at Miguel Rod 888, and you can give the gentleman to my side, that good-looking fellow, at Antony, that's ANTONY _Rodriguez 11 on Instagram. Give us a follow. We post, sometimes on our own personal stuff about maybe some music we're listening to, maybe some meditations that we've done during the day. And we also just give a little bit of insight of what we're doing at the gym and stuff like that. Maybe some gains progressions and things like that. We like to post that on our stories, just like everybody else does. We like doing that stuff. It's kind of fun.
Sure.
So, make sure you give us a follow. And last but not least, we have to give us a shout out to our sponsor, our one and only very, 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 very great sponsor, Very Good Vegan Bakery. Ladies, gentlemen, the holidays are coming up.
They are.
Right? You got to get yourself some good gifts. And Very Good Vegan Bakery's got you covered. Listen, they're doing cookie gift sets of 24 cookies and 3 mini pies for any holiday gifts for $30. Okay? Now,
that's a deal.
The renowned chef that is the head mastermind of Very Good Vegan Bakery is going to go ahead and make us that gift set. So we'll show it to you guys in a little ad next episode of the podcast, more than likely. And we'll show you guys what it looks like so that you guys can go ahead, give them a follow on Instagram, and order yours. They do deliveries if you are in the Southwest Florida area, so that's always a good way to take care of it and stuff like that. So listen, give them a follow. Go ahead and get out your phone, get out whatever device you like to scroll on Instagram at, and go ahead and follow the at Very Good Bakery, not very, but berry as in strawberry, BERRY, Very Good Bakery _ Give them a follow. A lot of awesome pictures of delicious treats, vegan snacks, and a whole bunch of goodness. And some really cool soothing reels of like how a lot of the things at the bakery are made. So give them a follow. It's really dope. Yeah, there's been some dope reels. The wifey's been going off on the reels, so give her a little follow on that for show. And make your orders. It's going to make your holiday season much, much easier. Brother, love a great episode of the pod, man. Yeah. So happy to be here with you. So happy for what's to come. Ladies and gents, look, here in the future, we're going to go ahead and make a TikTok because TikTok is kind of the spot where there's a lot of eyes right now. So we're going to make a TikTok so we can try and bring some more eyes.
Get some clips going. Yeah.
To our YouTube, we're going to start making some clips as well, uploading some shorts so that if you're not able to listen to a full pod, maybe you want to get a little insight on a little short here, a little short there. We got you covered, ladies and gents. So make sure you're subscribed to the Plant-Based Bros on YouTube. That's Plant-Based Bros with a period at the end of bros because that's the proper enunciation and pronunciation, the way you toy bit there for you because we're proper lads. We like to keep everything grammatically correct. So it's Plant-Based Bros with a period at the end of the bros on YouTube. Give us a little subscribers. One point we're going to make a Patreon, so if you like hearing a couple of cuss words, we might do a couple cuss pods, a couple funny pods, maybe a couple UFC watch-alongs or something like that. Some good UFC fights. It was heartbreaking seeing Izzy, but we can talk about that another time. Yeah. But yeah, ladies and gents, thank you so much for listening. Brother, any last words to the people at home listening?
I've been Ant, man. Thanks for listening.
I've been Ant. Thanks for listening. No, honestly, brother, I honestly really, really loved everything you said this pod, brother. You really provided really great insight into everything we were talking about. And I really enjoyed this conversation with you, man.
Me too, bro.
Keep up this energy, man. I'm really excited to keep doing this pod with you, brother. And I can't wait for the day that we're looking at 10K, 20K, 30K, 100K, million subscribers, and we're really blowing it up.
Grind, baby.
Listen, we're here to grind, and we're here to spread the good word of living a healthy lifestyle. Doesn't matter what diet you follow. We're the Plant-Based Bros, and we follow that because we truly believe in the vegan diet and the plant-based diet, right? Yeah. But even if you don't follow the same diet as us, we're going to give you the insights and the tools to live a successful and happy lifestyle based on the things that we've been learning and seeing success in our own lives. Because again, we're humans just like you, and we're all just trying to figure out the best way to live our lives.
It's true.
Yes, indeed. So listen,
keep doing you.
People listening at home, hope you guys have a fantastic week. Hope you guys are able to knock down any barriers that come your way, overcome everything. Think about Stoicism like we mentioned at the beginning of the pod. Again, if you don't remember the definition of Stoicism, I'll hit you with it one more time. Stoicism is the endurance of pain or hardship. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you right now, life is full of hardships. Full of them when you're driving in the car and someone's cutting you off. People beeping at you and stuff like that. Maybe your boss is being a little bit micromanaging today. Listen, that's a hardship. But remember to be stoic. Remember Stoicism, the endurance of pain or hardship without display of feelings and without complaint. Because I promise you, if you don't let yourself fall almost victim to the emotion, right? It's like it's an entrapping feeling, right? It's an overgoing cycle. It's almost like a broken record of just not feeling good. Your job doesn't defy you, okay? You live a life outside of work. You're able to go get a workout in when you leave because you're not going to be at your job every day. So be stoic, be emotionless, get through it, and live your best life, ladies and gentlemen, because all you ladies and gents at home listening deserve a very happy and prosperous life. So remain stoic, ladies and gents. Shout out Sugar Shane for the advice on stoicism, by the way.
Keep doing what you love. Follow your passions. I've been Ant.
I've been the boy Meeks.
Thanks for listening, y'all. We love you.
We appreciate you guys. Love you. Thank you for subscribing. Peace.
Peace.